as we'll take a look here just to show, on the left side here, when there's a gold kind of card, that means I've cleared it. So I've beaten Riku's mode and I've beaten Sora's mode, and yeah, I've played this to completion, as I've said, almost completely. Riku's mode, as we can see, takes a lot shorter time than Sora's, so I'll start a new save on slot 5 here. And then you'll see Sora, level 1. We're in Proud mode. 80 MP. The MP represents the Moogle points. Those are the, that's basically money from the first game. And it says where we are in terms of the castle. So we're on first floor, Traverse Town. And we're 24 minutes into the game. So now that we've saved, save points also have the same functionality that they did in Kingdom Hearts 1, except for, since magic's no longer a thing, anytime you step on a save point, if you're lower than max health, it will heal you to full. So now we go to the next room, and we have another criterion of 2 or higher. So we have this Tranquil Darkness card, and on the bottom you'll see a small tooltip that tells you what the room you're going to create will do. And it emphasizes 2 things. Threat level, or Heartless level, and that's a 1-star, which is the minimum. Actually, the minimum is 0, and that's generally a safe place or a place where Heartless don't spawn. Then there's 1 for minimum and 3 for maximum. Room size, this is a 2-room, which means it's a medium-sized room, and 1 is small and 3 is large. So we go ahead and put this in. Now we're in a new room, and you can see it's kind of randomly generated, but it has a path, okay? Now we can access, can I access the main menu? Yes, okay. So we're going to do a lot of menu diving here in a second, but I'm going to show you, so here's the map, okay? So the next place we want to reach is this door. So we're going to need a 1-cost card and the Key to Beginnings, which we already have. But currently I don't have any more 1-cost card, any more cards actually, any map cards. So I need to get into a fight and win a map card. You win a map card at the end of every single enemy encounter, no matter what. So that's the map. So there's going to be, I'm just going to spoil this map, and then I won't talk about other maps. So there's the Key to Beginnings, and that's the first of 3 events that the world holds. Then it'll force me back out. We'll go up here to a new room, create a new room. Then there's Key to the Heart or something, or Middle, we'll see. And that's the second instance. Then there's the third instance. You go up here and then create a portal to the third instance. Then you'll loop here, and this will be the world exit. And the world exit feeds to the next floor. So that'll be the next world. So before we get into this fight, let's take a look at the main menu. So settings, these are all things that I'm worried about but don't have to matter for anybody else. I'm actually curious what this means. I think I'm going to turn Type B on because I feel like I was using R1 to lock on in Kingdom Hearts 1. So we have Jiminy's journal here, and he holds story info. Also card collection, so I'll quickly take a look at just one of these. And this is, will it not show me? Oh, there it is. So this is an important way to distinguish the attack cards in this game. So we have the Kingdom Key for us, and that's the only attack card that we have. And it grades it on a to D scale, I think. And then above an A is a star. So if we take a look here, it says the power of a strike is a D+, the power of a thrust is a D+, the combo finish is a D+. So it's bad is the point. Element physical, we won't go into what element means yet. I mean, obviously there's going to be fire and water, fire and blizzard and other stuff, but we'll talk about why those are important. Break recovery we'll get into in a minute, and then required CP we'll also get into a minute, and that's a star. Star is the best that you can do, so it's saying the required CP is like the minimum. This is the default weapon, not very powerful, but reliable and easy to handle. And every card that you contain And also, so you, as he said, you have attack cards, magic cards, item cards, friend cards, map cards, and world cards. And then there's a bunch of other types that we haven't gotten to yet. And lastly, there's the characters. I probably won't be reading over any of this unless somebody asks or I find it important. Then there's status, and these are just showing things that can be done. I'm not going to worry about this, explaining this too much yet, but on the right we can see I'm level 1, I have 14 experience, I need 11 to get a level. My HP is 80 out of 80 and my max CP is 275. I've got the first deck equipped, and that will come into play in 1 second here. Then I can take a look at what world I'm at. So this is the overall map that I'm on, the big map. Then map cards. So as I said, I have the key to beginnings, but I don't have any other cards. So I'm going to need to fight some Heartless. Then we can look at the particular world map, as I showed a little earlier. And that's what we looked at before. And finally, the most important screen that we'll probably be looking at a lot is the review decks, okay? So in this game, you can hold, and I just have to remember how to do this. L2, R2. So in this game, you can use, you can equip or customize 3 decks at a time, okay? I generally won't use another deck until later in the game where I'm creating certain strategies of cards that I want. But for now, we're going to be playing very Kingdom Hearts 1, where there's a little bit of magic and mostly just hitting things with the Keyblade. So let's take a look at our deck here, okay? So we've got, as I've said, it's the highest card number. The higher the card number, the better. So I've got a spare 3 here, and on the right you'll see the CP. That's card points. So I have 223 equipped out of my maximum of 277. If I try to equip more than 275 points of card points, or cards worth of card points, the screen won't let me exit and I can't use that deck. Or it might let me exit, but it won't let me use that deck for sure. So I can fill it, so I'll fill it with attacks, and there's a potion, and then there's a cure, some magic, until I want to reach that cap if I want, or I can go under the cap if I want to. So I've got a 3 card here, and it's better than a 2 card, but I'm not going to remove the 2 card yet, but I'll put the 3 card over the 2 card. So to do that, I just click it down. Now you can see we have our deck here, and we have those 2 3s, and with the 3 that I just put in, and the 2 1 2 2 1 0 just shuffle down. So wherever you place that card in, the next cards will shuffle down. Also, I want to put Blizzard in, and you can see on the middle of the screen, almost dead center, there's CP 19. So as I've said, with the number being higher, that's the more it's better. So the higher the number is, the more card points that it's going to cost. So 5 is going to be about the average amount. I can afford putting this in now, so I'm going to, and I'll put that right next to Cure. So now we have a 15 card deck. We had a 13 card deck, now we have a 15 card. You can also take a look at slates. We haven't experienced what these are yet, but we'll get into those later. And you can, if I can think of where to do this, I thought we could, you can name the decks. So for beginner, for the first deck, I'm just going to call this, I'll call this standard. So that way I'll know this is the base deck that I'll be using. And then later I might start to have a built deck in slot 2 and slot 3. The other thing you can do is create a shortcut button. This is where it's generally set, I believe, to the reload command, but you can set it to a particular card. So let's say I'm going into a battle and I expect to take a lot of damage, so I'll set the shortcut to flip me immediately to Cure, so that I can heal at any point that I want. I can do that. I'm not going to do that for now. And then it's still equipped, but it's still equipped, and you can see that when you go into equip, it says ready on the one that you're using. So if I said deck 2 ready, deck 3 ready, obviously I wouldn't be able to exit this screen, I don't think. Well, I can, but I wouldn't be very good in combat because I'd have no cards. So I'll use the standard deck, and now we can get into some combat. Alright. So I use cards, and the enemies will try to use cards intermittently as I'm using them. If they use a card with a number that is higher than the number that I'm using, they will perform what's called a card break. And what happens then is that their action takes priority, just like that shadow did a second ago. When it attacked me, that was because their attack beat the value of my attack. The potion reloads all attack cards in the deck. So right there, that guy tried to use a 4-cost card, but I was using a 3-cost card, so he broke, and his attack took precedence over mine. Zeros are unique cards. Oh, I flipped this. They will break any card. Okay? So I'll reload my attacks. And I'll keep swinging because I know that their max threshold is 4. Just, I know that, for example. So if I'm swinging anything above 4, I'm not worried about taking damage. Alright, so a lot of stuff happens at the beginning, so this is very hard to commentate, but we can get 3 different bonuses every time you level up. 2 are always available, and the 3rd one is available at certain levels. These are slates. I won't be taking slates immediately, I'll be taking card points here, but we'll talk about slates in a little bit. So on the bottom you can see experience, and then what I require to get to the next level. So now I'm level 2. Just ahead of time, I'll say the maximum level is 99. So you can raise Sora's HP. It will always be 15. So I'll go from 80 to 95, and then if I did that next time, it would be 95 to 110, etc., etc., etc. CP is always 25 points, no matter what. So it goes, if you do this for 4 levels, you get an extra 100. So I'm going to take the card points, and that allows me to build a more expansive or more powerful deck. The reason why it's not both is because you can't put a lot of very powerful cards in because powerful cards cost a lot on their own. So I click this, it'll say CP increased by 25. He does a little dance, and then the card, level up bonus fades out. It returns you to the main world after every combat. That's a confusion bucket. If a Heartless gets hit with that, they get confused. So I go ahead and hit this guy to stun him. So then it's very just much... one thing to note in this, those little blue, and we've seen a couple red, like blocks that are floating around like that. Those are your experience points. That's how you level up. Unlike in Kingdom Hearts 1, where you've killed an enemy and you got experience for it, you have to collect those orbs. They do not automatically come towards you, but they will absorb if you're at a certain distance, per se. Alright. Several more things to talk about. Okay, so that was... Oh, gosh. Okay. So, here's a friend card, and this is a slate. If I can remember how to do this. Or maybe it doesn't... Oh, yes, it does. So, anytime I press triangle, I can start to form a slate. I'm going to... heal. And then reload. As he said, every time you reload, it takes longer. So here's a slate. So I've got a Goofy card and 2 attack cards, and now I have a Goofy Smash combo. And its total value is 14. Because normal attack cards only go up to... Normal attack or magic cards only go up to 9, this cannot be broken while it's being cast. So I press triangle, and now Goofy smashes, and I can press triangle and help that combo along. I'm just going to beat these guys up. So now I have to wait 3 times if I want to reload my deck. 3 will always be the maximum, so you'll never have to go over 3, luckily. So right there, he used a 2 and I used a 4. So I broke, his attack stopped, my attack began, and I dealt damage. So here we are at another level up screen. Don't worry, these aren't every 2 seconds or every fight. But here I'll take another CP. And now, if we take a look here at the review decks, I had 275 with holding 254. So now I can reach up to 325. So I could put a lot more cards in if I had them. So that's the point of getting CP. And that's how friends come and join you on the battle, by the way. You either stack them into a slate like that, or you just use them individually and they'll do a little attack. Each one has a unique effect. So we'll just do another combat here. So this is risky, but here's Donald. Oh, I did not mean to stack him. Again, didn't mean to stack him. So here's Donald. A single Donald casts level 1 spells, so that's 2 Thunders. If you stack 2 Donalds in a row, so you end up picking up 2 friend cards in a row, you get Donald Magic level 2. So he'll cast, let's say he casted Thunder twice, he'll cast Thundara Thundara. And level 3, 3 Donalds, he'll cast Thundaga Thundaga Thundaga. Or Thundaga Thundaga, I think he just does 2. And Goofy has a different set of rules, but we'll see those later. Donald can be risky if you're fighting an elemental enemy like the Red Nocturne, because, like, he can cast fire and they will absorb that. Not risky, but it's a waste of time. You can also use friends with no worries to start a slate, because they expire on single use as well as in a slate. And I'll get to that in a second. I'll try to show that in the next combat. So let's take a look here. So I'm going to stun this enemy. So I'm going to stack, I'm not going to stack my 7, but I'm going to stack my 1, 7, and 6. And I'll unleash this combo. So I do a 3-hit combo. Nobody can interrupt that because the total value is 14. And even if these were the most powerful enemies in the game, as a single enemy, the max damage they can do is a 4. Is post up a 4 combo. So now, when I reload, if I go back to where my 1 is, it's now gone. The first card of a slate is always absorbed and will not be given back on a reload. That's why using a Donald in the front, or a Goofy in the front, or a friend card in the front is a nice way to do it, because they already get absorbed anyways. So we have enough cards to start the first event. So we'll go ahead and start the first event. Event doors, let me make sure I'm saying this right, yep. Event doors will be marked with this little... Oh, there's no first-person mode in this game, I forgot, sorry. Will be marked with this little kingdom key, or kingdom emblem, crown emblem, sorry. And so before we open that, so now we have enough cards, but let's take a look at our map cards. I'll only do this for the first time we see one that we haven't seen before, and then I probably won't repeat them unless they're important. But here's some examples. So we have Feeble Darkness. We have a 1-cost Feeble Darkness. This is a room where Heartless with weak cards appear. The way that functions is, and the card does say it on it as well, any enemy in here, their deck will, or their attack power will be 2 minus whatever their normal attack power is. So if they're throwing 3 cards normally, they'll be throwing 1 card in this room. So it makes them a lot easier to defeat, because your threshold for what cards you need to be throwing is too lower to beat them out. Sleeping Darkness, a room where Heartless are drowsy and easy to ambush. They'll literally have Z's over their head and you can get a first strike on them. And this is a 0, which opens anything, and a 7. Martial Waking, a room where your attack cards are more effective. This does basically the reverse of Feeble Darkness, if I remember correctly. This will make all your attack cards deal 2 more. So if I am throwing a 7, I'll still only have to have that 7 in the deck, but in this room I'll be throwing a 9 from that 7, if that makes sense. Stagnant space. This is a room where Heartless moves slowly. The Heartless will chase you when you get too close to them on the field screen, and this just makes them move at like half speed. It's kind of worthless of a room. Strong initiative. A room where striking first deals heavy damage to the Heartless. This is very understated. Basically, this room is a great farming tool for single encounter enemies, because what it does is the first strike, if I hit them without them jumping on me first, they'll start with something along the lines of 2 or 5 HP, so I just have to swing once and they instantly die. It's a great room. But let's go ahead and get into our first event. We need to fill the left column first. Actually, yeah, we need to fill the left column first. So we need a card that has a 1 or lower, or higher. My strategy for this game is I will, if I can, I'll toss whatever I think is the worst card. So here I would try to do a 0, but I need something that's a 1 or higher. So 0 won't hit that. So I'll try to toss out this 7 on Sleeping Darkness. Even though it's a high number, its value as a card to me for a map area is worthless, in my opinion. So I'm throwing that out. That can end up being a mistake because you might come across a room where the threshold is 7 or something. So just be careful with that. So now, the next thing you need to do is throw in the Key of Beginnings. And this says a room where untold stories unfold. There will almost never be Heartless on this, and the room size generally doesn't matter, and you'll see why in a second. So these cutscenes are not voice animated, as I said, so I'll try to read these out. Fighting alone isn't as easy as I thought. Ah! Don't pop out of nowhere like that. Hi, it's not our fault. We don't know what's going on. Yuck. Pluto? Things keep getting stranger. What's Pluto doing here? There's nothing strange about that. We came to Traverse Town with Pluto, didn't we? Did we? No, wait. According to my journal, it was before you met Sora that you came to town with Pluto. Whack, he's right. We were chasing after Pluto, and that's how we ended up in Castle Oblivion. But aren't we in Traverse Town? Well, it's not really Traverse Town. I think the card created this Traverse Town inside Castle Oblivion. Ah, who cares about all that? It's too confusing. I don't know where we are, but let's just keep moving. Let's just keep moving forward, defeating Heartless. We'll get somewhere. You'd better be careful, or it's the Heartless that are going to defeat you. Leon, it's you! What are you doing in Castle Oblivion? Castle Oblivion? What are you talking about? This is Traverse Town. And how do you know my name? Who are you? Exclamation point? I've never met the likes of you before. Quit playing, Leon! We all fought the Heartless together, you know that! Look, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even know your names. You don't? Oh, you don't? Sorry. I can't believe it! How can you have already forgotten about us? Or how can you have forgotten about us? I feel for you, but you've got the wrong guy. Happens all the time. Don't take it so personally, Sora. Exclamation point? Question mark? They're doing ours now. Now, hold on. Why do I know your name? You think Leon's just kidding around? If he is, it's not funny. Sora's really upset. Who's kidding around, Goofy? You and Donald are the ones who... How? I don't get it. Something's wrong with my memory. What's happening here? I don't know. I don't really have a girl's voice, but... I don't know, Leon. Maybe Aerith was onto something after all. She said she sensed some uncanny... She said she sensed some uncanny kind of power. And asked us to look into it. Well, this is as uncanny as it gets. Maybe you should take Sora to see Aerith. Yuffie, you know my name! Yep, looks like you know mine too. You know him? Nope, total stranger, but I definitely know his name. Strange? Yes, but convenient. We can skip the introductions. How is it that you can accept this situation so easily? I don't get you. Well, I'm gonna run ahead and fill Aerith in. Leon, you give them the grand tour. See you later. 3 dots or an ellipsis. I guess it's no use pondering over it. Come on, follow me. But there are heartless wandering around town. I'd better teach you how to protect yourself in battle. So this is another little tutorial. See the numbers printed on your cards? They range from 0 to 9. Higher numbers mean stronger cards. If you and your enemy both play a card at the same time, the higher numbered card wins. Go on, try it out. Alright, so he has his deck on the left, on the right. Normally you won't be able to see this except for in very particular fights. But I'm going to throw a 4, he'll throw a 3. I win. He's throwing a 5, or no, he's going to throw a 2, I'm throwing a 5, I win. He's throwing a 4, I'll throw a 3, he wins. See how it works? See how it works? Playing a card higher than your opponents and breaking through their defenses is called a card break. Playing a lower card results in your attack being deflected. Even powerful cards can be deflected if the enemy's card is higher. Whoever's on the losing side of a break is left wide open to attacks. Don't let that person be you. Cards with 0 as their value are special. No matter what card the enemy plays, this is true, you can break it with a 0 card. Every deck tends to run 1 or 2 0 cards just in case of an emergency. Also to note, before I go on, a 0 card will break any slate. That is those numbers where it's 14 or higher or whatever I was saying. But if you play the 0 card too soon, the enemy can break it with any card they play. That's true. So what you want to do with that is throw a 0 after the enemy's already initiated the attack. And have your 0 card have a quick recovery to it, because once they're broken, they stagger for a second, but then they can break out of that and retaliate against your 0, and anything will break the 0. But if you play the 0 card too soon, the enemy can break it with any card they play. In other words, it's the most powerful card if it comes last, and useless if it comes first. Pretty much what I said. Try to make the most of it. Card values also affect the cost of assembling a deck, like I've shown. Keep that in mind. Now it's time to teach you how to stock cards. This is slating, like I was showing earlier. You don't have to use battle cards one at a time. You can also assemble 3 cards and use them all at once. This is called stocking cards. Stocking cards and using them in 3s is much stronger than using cards individually. That is debatable. go on, give it a try. Stock any 3 cards in your deck. As I said normally, but it doesn't want you to know this already, so it starts you on the 9. You want to start with whatever your lowest or least prioritized card is. So I'm looking in this. This is not my actual deck. This is a sample deck. But if I look in here, my least powerful cards are the 1 and the 2. So I'll start the stocking with the 1. Then I throw in any 2 other cards, and I'll put in the 6 and the 9 just for fun. The sum of your 3 stocked cards becomes the value you play. 16 on the top left, you can see it. The value is usually high and hard to break, and the combo attack deals a lot of damage. Don't hold back. Show me what you can do. Use the 3 stocked cards. Use triangle to do this. L2 and R2 use 1 of 3 stocked cards. I guess that just executed it as well. I don't know. Combo attacks aren't the only benefit of stocking cards. Choose your cards carefully and you can unleash special abilities called slates, which is what I was talking about earlier. We saw one with Goofy Smash. That's a slate. Slates come in all varieties and each has its own unique card combination. So it's like a formula for creating. You need to put it in either the right order or the right combo. You should try it out once you've collected more cards and learned a slate or 2. But keep one thing in mind. Every time you use stock cards, you lose the first card you picked. You cannot reload it. That's what I was saying earlier. The lost card won't return until the end of battle. End of battle, he just means anytime you go into when you go into the next combat, that card's back. Relying only on slates will cause your cards to run out. That means trouble, because your deck can be empty. Think you've got the hang of it, Sora? Yeah, more or less. I'll pick up the rest when I fight some real battles. Here, I found this lying around. You take it. Remember what I told you and make good use of it. He gives you Simba, which is neat because his summon gem in Kingdom Hearts 1 was literally Simba. And yeah, you had to unlock it from the fairy godmother, but you still get it now.